Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Beautiful Wednesday morning here in Central Florida. Starting day out at 77 degrees. Got us a heat advisory again today. Yes, sir. It just sucks the life out of you right now. Hoo-wee. Drink water. Drink water. Drink water. Yes, some guys working outside yesterday, and I talked to one of them, and he says, "Man, I've never drank so much Gatorade and still feel like I'm dry." Yeah, it's sucking the life out of you right now, so you need to be careful. Make sure you're drinking water. Staying out of that direct sunlight as much as you can. Working on the apartment wall, I've taken the tarp from the apartment, draped from the roof to the trailer to give me shade, and I put a box fan out there just to help move some air and just to help keep the direct sun off of me. And it helps, but still sucking the life out of you. So we'll get some more progress done this weekend, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Got the cheek back. Still don't have a lot of movement up here. Still got a little bit of mess down here. We're almost there. It's getting better. Hey, a lot worse things can happen. I can close that eye now. That's nice. All I've really been doing when I get home this week is just trying to catch up on some rest, because the work I did Saturday really took it out of me. And I'm feeling a lot better today, and I'm hoping that come this Saturday I'll be in good shape enough to do another one of those days. I'm trying to get some help come over. If they can, that'll help, because we've only got a couple more 2x6s to go, and then insulation doesn't take any time, and then sheathing goes really quick, and then the house wrap, and then we'll be at a break point for stucco. I don't know if I'll put the stucco netting up this weekend or not. We'll see. It's something we can piddle around with a little bit. But I'll give you some tips, okay? I'll give you some tips. When you got an older structure and you have 16 on center studs, but then you have some other little anomalies because there used to be a door there and stuff like that. So things don't line up perfect, right? When you put your first bottom row of sheathing in, take a red chalk line. Well, you can take a blue one if you want, but I like to use the red one because it's more permanent. And snap a line where each stud is, or each nailing point that you want to use. All right. I say that because the first set of studs is upright post of 4 2x6s together. So you got a little bit more to play with there. So I like to snap a line, and then when I put the next layer up, I continue that line up, and then the next layer, and I continue that line up. And it makes your life a whole lot easier. When you're putting on the stucco netting and stuff. So if you're going to put the Tyvek house wrap on over top of that, then you put the Tyvek house wrap on and you transfer your lines to the Tyvek. And then you keep on moving. So that's all there is to it. I got a slap stapler that I've used for tar paper and for Tyvek. We'll probably do that, and then I'll probably will go ahead and put the stucco netting up, and then from there we'll just it's only going to cost about $250 for the stucco. I need about 10 bags of base coat, and I'll probably get 12, of the scratch coat, and then I need about 10 bags, probably 8 bags, but I'll get 10 bags of the finish coat. And nothing wrong adding a little extra. And then the finish coat, I need to go around the corner where there's a crack where somebody keeps hitting the side of the dang building. And I've got some bumper blocks that I'm going to put and line up right next to the alley, try to keep people off that building. And oh, you know, I might paint them white too. Maybe I'll paint them yellow. Safety yellow sounds good. Anywho, it's a project and a half. I sent a letter to code enforcement and said, hey, you know, their work is being done. You don't like it, ain't getting done quickly, but the quote was 3 times my budget from the contractor. And going down to contractor, they got a business to run too, but they can't make it all off one job. So the quote was 15 grand, and the time period is 2 weeks. All right. And some of the stuff they're charging for is ridiculous. They're going to charge for a dumpster and a porta potty. So those are 2 things I won't have to pay for. I am going to pay a guy $500 to come pick up all the waste when we're done. It's a little different. Because I got more than just the debris there. There's some other things I want out of my life. Anyhow, yeah, so I bought all of the lumber, the sheathing, the insulation, rock wool insulation, which there was no insulation in that building, so it'll help put insulation in it, and the stucco netting for just under 2 grand. And then I bought a specialty tool that I didn't have to make life easier. 2 actually, but they weren't very expensive. So I don't even have 2 grand in the materials. And then I got another $250. So we're looking at less than $2,300 for all the materials. Whew. That's not a lot of money. That's good, right? But I don't know how you get 12 grand in labor. I don't get it. So I did buy a new demolition bar, particular type, and I also bought a knife / saw for cutting rock wool insulation because it does make life a whole lot easier. Other than that, it's ridiculous. So, but I can only get about 1 full day of physical labor out of this body, and that's all she wrote. So, you know, 1 day at a time. And I asked code enforcement to give me 2 more Saturdays to get it dried in, then an additional 3 weeks to get stucco done. Now, to do stucco right, you need to get that scratch coat done in 1 day. I'm not going to be able to do that unless I get some help. So I'm hoping I get some help. And then you have to babysit that. You're going to look at me like I'm nuts, but I'm telling you. Put that good scratch coat on there, good heavy coat into that lath. Then put your little scratch lines on it. But every now and then look at it and just kind of mist it with water to keep it from drying out too fast. As hot as it is right now, even with the humidity, you need to make sure that it doesn't dry out too fast. Then the next day, sometimes 2 days, but probably the next day, go ahead and put the finish coat on. And the texture on this is so simple. It is so unbelievably simple. Once you trowel it on, you're just lifting your trowel a little bit to leave just a little bit of a swipe mark in different directions. That's it. So once you get it all nice and pretty looking, straight and even and clean, then you take in your trowel and put your little pattern on there. And where the masonry blocks, where the vehicles hit the building on the masonry blocks and it follows the seam, this to me is the easiest way to do it. I take a grinding wheel for masonry and I cut that mortar out and I repoint it, okay, and get it all nice and filled in. And then after that, go ahead and put the finish coat stucco across it, and that's it. It makes it pretty easy, and it's such an easy pattern. I'll be able to blend it in pretty quick. If you do stucco work, you will see. You may be able to see where the patch is, but if you don't, you're not gonna. You're gonna be hard pressed to find where I blended in, and then I'll paint probably the following week. Weather permitting, it can't be too windy and it can't be real damp. I've got a sprayer, so I don't want to overspray on the stuff or other people's property, right? So you got to be real careful of that. May put up the tent posts with some tarps to prevent any overspray going anywhere else, because it'll amaze you how far paint will fly with a gust of wind. So, and I'm going to paint the whole side that we replace, plus I'm going to paint probably the other side that faces the alley. I'll prime it all white, and then I'll get the harvest gold and I'll spray that probably the following weekend. But one step at a time. Gotta give the old man some time to get this stuff done, because it's ridiculous to take a loan out for 15 grand when your materials are under 2,500, and you can get a little bit of help to get you out there. And I can pay for some help. I've got a little bit of money to pay someone to help me, but it's not, there's no way I'm going to pay 15 grand for that job. Crap. When I started, I tell you, when I first started doing construction, it was for family and I didn't get paid squat. I got a roof over my head and I got food, all right? But then when I first actually started getting paid to do it, I got $2 an hour. And buddy, I wasn't a helper at that point. I was doing rough carpentry and putting in tile and putting on roofs. And you ain't put on a roof until you put on a roof in New England with a pitch that would make your stomach roll. Just saying. Anyhow, we didn't use no fall protection. Weren't smart enough to ask about that. But anyhow, then I'm a good rough guy and I'm okay on finished work, but I'm a lot better on rough work, except for when it comes to masonry and metal. Masonry, I'm a pretty good finish guy. Matter of fact, I moved up to finish guy pretty quick when I came to Florida for stucco and for curving work and for slabs and poured walls. And there's not a lot of finished work to do on a poured wall. At least they don't do much down here. But I moved up to finish man pretty quick because I could do it well and fast. And I can still do it well, just not fast. And I can't do it well if I'm working to the bitter end of my strength. So there we have it. So too long of a talk today, isn't it? Huh, babbling too much. Nobody wants to hear what this crazy old man has to say. But hey, no matter what happens, do the best you can, be your best you can. Do all you can to teach those that you're responsible for, and all you can to teach yourself. And look in that mirror and make sure you're fixing that one first. Do a little bit better each day. When you fail, pick yourself up, learn from it. Don't dwell on it. and move on.